Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
RoadToRuta.com. Got some pretty cool silver information for you. First, those of you on the private road, check out my latest post over the weekend. Talk about the Commitment of Traders report and how over the last few months, a few weeks, almost a month now, things have been different. Also, massive difference in what's going on with silver compared to history. Nobody's talking about it, but they should be. The seasonal average. So historically, all commodities, but mainly silver and gold, have a seasonal average where during the month from May to September, nothing ever happens. Everybody's on vacation. The price goes down, does whatever it does. Manipulators take over. And historically, as you can see, here's the 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, and 50-year average. They've all, the percentage of change has ranged between 5, maybe up to 10, 12%. Everything has just been average, normal, nothing exciting ever happens from May through August, September. This is 2025. Massively larger changes this time. This time is different. Another different thing that's happening is as the price rises, as the price has risen over, let me show you here, the last month, the big silver shorts who always, historically, always short into the rise to keep everything under control have not been shorting into the rise. They have not been shorting into the rise. Does this mean they're gone? No. Does it mean they want the least amount of silver shorts going into the active time, September, October, November, December? Do they want that? They want to be as small a short position as possible. They know the game is up. At some point, they will run out of physical silver. Now, a lot of people talking about the inventories going up, silver inventories going up at SLV, at the Comex, at the LBMA. Everybody's silver inventory is going up. Remember this very important thing. Ted Butler showed us this years ago. The amount that silver goes up in the amount in SLV, that ETF, is equivalent to the rise of silver in the Comex warehouses because that's where they store the silver. There is no rule against calling SLV silver eligible inventory. And who runs that program? JP Morgan and BlackRock. So of course they're lying. Of course they're double counting the amount of silver available. Now, I have come to the conclusion that SLV is just another tool to rig the price of silver. And Jeff Curry at Goldman Sachs admitted that when he said the shorts are the ETFs. The authorized participants buy the metal, sell it to the ETF, and then short that position. He told the whole world how silver ETFs and all ETFs, truthfully, are used to rig the price. So we know that. And we know it's double counted. There's nothing fair about the silver market. But that all frauds come to an end sooner or later. This one just happens to be going on for 180 years. What will be the next thing they try to do? I don't know yet. Clearly Trump is trying to do the old, hey, let's save the dollar by announcing stable coins. It's just another derivative you're going to tack on top of all the other derivatives. It doesn't get rid of the problem, the debt problem. All it does is kick the can down the road. You know, what Trump's trying to accomplish, maybe it's just a couple of weeks he's trying to kick it down, but this stable coin bill will most assuredly destroy the crypto industry. Because when the banks go, all those stable coins are gone. And I mean, the crypto people are all excited about this. I'm like, well, this is the worst thing that could possibly happen. The intertwining of both markets growing up together. That means if one fails, so does the other. And we know how rickety the old system is. So you're not going to see crypto, they were going in parallel for a long time, which is great. But now they're interweaving each other. JP Morgan has all these Bitcoin and Ethereum, all these derivatives are in play. So when JP Morgan goes down, so does all the stable coins and all the exchanges. and all third-party custodianship of cryptos. So no, it's not good that the two systems are intertwining. XRP is probably the worst of them all, but people love XRP. Bix, you just don't understand. I heard that the one of the head guys at XRP just sold billions of dollars worth of XRP. It happens every time. Who's the biggest seller of XRP? Ripple. Oh, we're just getting the coins out there. It's a fraud. It's crazy. Name one central bank that said, oh yeah, we're going to use XRP. There aren't any. Name one Treasury Department. There aren't any. Why would they? But hey, play is going to play. All right, back to silver. Holding at $38. They can click a mouse and put the price anywhere. Remember, they're playing off the moving averages, and the moving averages just keep getting bigger and bigger. The longer the price is above the moving averages, the higher the moving average moves. It is below the moving average that India, China, and Russia are waiting to gobble up as many ounces as is offered up by the short banking cabal. Could it be 100 million ounces? Yes. Could it be 1,000 million ounces, which is what, 1 billion ounces? Yes. If they're going to offer it up, and they say they have it, if they have it, they would take it. You don't think Russia and China and India could scoop up, what, $40 billion and buy every ounce of silver left on the planet that's available? If there is that much, of course they could. Warren Buffett could, and Warren Buffett probably is taking delivery, which I'll get to in a second. There was another, we're at the end of the delivery month, a so-so delivery month at the beginning of 35 million ounces turned into a good delivery month of over 50 million ounces, if you count the micro contracts, which I'll get to in a second. So July, normally a slow month, very good delivery month, over 50 million ounces. I think September is going to be massive, 70, 80 million ounces, maybe even up to 100 million ounces. Because when you look at who's taking the silver, who's buying the silver, who's taking delivery, it's all over the board. The suppliers are easy. It's HSBC, it's JP Morgan. Well, let's take a look. Who are the big ones? So here's the month so far. 9,297 contracts so far have delivered on the Comex Silver Futures Exchange. And then there's also another 3.6 million ounces that were delivered on the micro silver contract on the Comex. I add those together when I'm counting the total. By the way, this is the largest delivery month yet for the micro contract. Micro contract's the 1,000-ounce contract. The 5,000-ounce contract is the normal silver futures. And it's just 3 entities playing the game here. And it would be the CME basically has to take delivery and deliver to 2 firms, Advantage Futures and ADM. That's only 2 people really playing this game. Now, Morgan Stanley back here ponied up over 1 million ounces in December, but really nothing really happens on this contract. I think it's more efficient with the larger contracts, but everybody just doesn't think of this. So the CME is the exchange, and they have to pony up this micro contract. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't know why they have a micro contract in play since only 2 players really look like they ever take delivery. But hey, that's their problem to deal with. Small pittance compared to what's going on over here. So as you can see, the ADM and the Advantage Futures are basically taking the micro contracts because they got to fulfill their short positions. So it's kind of a wash game there. Because they're delivering, they're taking theirs, and then they're redelivering it. It is a shell game like you wouldn't believe on this criminal market. So I looked through who's taking delivery, who are the longs. RBC Capital right here, taking 466 contracts. Barclays taking 400 contracts. StoneX delivered, not much though. JP Morgan Chase, obviously the largest player. JP Morgan Chase customers and JP Morgan Chase, I'd say they're the exact same entity. Ownership of the contract beneath JP Morgan, it's different people like BlackRock and other. Warren Buffett probably owns a bunch of that, and Elon Musk. But it is traded and rigged via JP Morgan Chase. Twice this year, JP Morgan had to go into their coffers and pull out massive amounts of silver. In the March contract, it was about 30 million ounces. I thought that was illegal. I thought they can only do 20, but they have waivers. There's waivers. We have such a ridiculous market. JP Morgan Chase and Citi are the only two commissioners left. I think the JP Morgan Chase placement has already left, and Caroline Pham of Citibank has already given notice. So who knows what's going on? It's kind of like the U.S. Mint. Who runs the U.S. Mint? Nobody. Oh, they have a woman doing it who's the underling of Ventures Gibson. No. I take that back. She was full on before Ventures and all that. I hear she's okay. She can't make a silver eagle to make her life, save her life, but she's fine. Christy, forgot her last name. But Trump has not put in a mint director. I hope it's David Ryder again, because he was the only guy who knew what he was doing. But probably, I doubt it. He's getting older, but there's other people. Hell, I'll do mint director. Trump, call me up. I'm ready to serve my country as mint director. We're gonna revamp everything. We're not gonna charge triple the amount of silver for the numismatic coins. It's not a money-making entity. The job of the U.S. Mint is to mint the coins for the United States of America. You should not ever have any coins on allocation. It's illegal. If you don't have the silver blanks, you go out and buy them at whatever price you can get them. That is the law. And that if you have to pay extra, that price is passed on to the customer. You don't make a profit off silver and gold eagles, and yet every year they book these huge profits on silver and gold eagles. It's illegal, it's fraud, and they know what they're doing. Ventures Gibson told Jack Sherman, the head of Silver Eagle Sales, to not make silver eagles. Make as few silver eagles as possible, or sell, because he's in charge of the sales. Go to roadroo.com. Right on the front there, I have a 3-part interview with Jack Sherman. Great discussion there. God bless Jack for opening that door and letting us peek inside what goes on behind the scenes at the Mint. It's embarrassing. All right. Who else? Who else take delivery? As I've been saying, Wells Fargo was never in silver much at all. Same with Bank of America before this big structured lease deal happened after JP Morgan got busted and ended up with 1.2 billion ounces of silver in its own possession. You compare that to the 100 million ounces the Hunt brothers had, and they had 120 in Comex contracts. It's like 10 times. It's like the Hunt brothers on steroids, but because it's JP Morgan, because they're deeply ingrained in the U.S. government, deeply ingrained in the Epstein stuff, what are they going to do? Are they going to stop JP Morgan? No. And they haven't. But the structured deal got so many other banks into this mess. I think that was part of the plan. If you're too big to fail, you don't want to be the only too big to fail. You want to get all your too big to fail friends in so that, hey, it's not just me you're taking down. You're taking down 5 other too big to fail banks. If I go, they go, and then everybody goes. So Wells Fargo somehow ended up at the short end of the stick, having to deliver every few months. Now, they didn't deliver much this quarter, but they've been loading up. They've got 15, does that be 800 million or 8 million ounces ready for next month. I think next month we're going to see Wells Fargo. That seems to be their trend. Load up on silver, and then somebody stands for delivery right there. Bang. They delivered 10 million ounces 2 months ago. And I think August will be nothing, and then September will be another another 10 or 15, probably 15 million ounces. I think September's going to be a big one. And it's got nothing to do with what goes on in the Comex. It has to do with the structured lease deals that went on back in 2001, where Bank of America leased 1.2 billion ounces from JP Morgan of silver. That's a massive amount of silver. And then they subleased it to a bunch of flunkies, Wells Fargo being some of them, and said, hey, you guys, we got 5% interest rates. You can lease silver for really cheap, sell it, use that money as cheap funding, and leverage it up 10 to 1, and you just keep rolling it over, and after 5 years, you're going to have to pay it back. but you're going to make so much money before that time. And little did they know they wouldn't be able to get the physical silver, and that's where we are now. Who are the other banks involved here? SG Americas, Macquarie, of course, and even Goldman. Even Goldman took some silver this month. So really interesting times. Obviously, the large supplier all year of silver and last year was HSBC and JP Morgan customers. Without those two banks, we might even have a freely traded silver market. But because they make up 50% of all deliveries and probably 90% of all trades, we don't have a free silver market. So hang in there, my friends. Really interesting note here. There were 25. No, that's the. There was just 5. There was 5 contracts stood for delivery. Basically, they went in and bought them that day, and one of the shorts is still Wells Fargo. Why is Wells Fargo having to deliver so late in the month? Why are they closing out this short so late in the month? You know, they carried that short position during the entire month. And the month was not good for them. I mean, you look at what did silver do over the month? There it is. Silver went up during this delivery month. All the silver is being delivered and the price is going up and up and up. And Wells Fargo is having to buy at these high prices to fulfill contracts that they sold probably 5 years ago. So, yeah, we're getting to the end game. It is different this time. I really do believe it is. All right, really interesting. LBMA comes out with the silent risk, counterfeiting in precious metals. Really good article. I'll go over it with private road members. This is from the LBMA. You guys can get that at the lbma.org.uk. It's in the Alchemist magazine, which often offers up some serious insight. But this is going to be so big, and I've talked about this many times. At some point in the future, not too far off, we're going to have a global remelt. As in, nobody knows what's real and what's fake. If you have a 100-ounce gold bar, you're crazy. You're absolutely nuts. You have no idea what's in that bar. Could be anything. And the fakes look so good. There are many ways to test it, but the only way really to test it is to melt it down. That's crazy, Bix. Well, and the good thing is everything will come into question in the near future. So, is your Silver Eagle real? Is your 100-ounce bar? Eagles are, China's making a lot of them, but you can really tell at the 1 ounce level, and it doesn't really make sense to do it at 1 ounce. It does make sense at the 10-ounce bars or mainly the 100-ounce bars to put molybdenum in the middle of it instead of silver. It makes great financial sense. Nobody drills bars these days. They should. But yeah, having silver in the proper form is going to become a huge thing. And once this gets widespread, let's just say someone says, oh my God, I bought $1 million worth of gold and all my bars are tungsten filled. And they go on the internet and say, oh my God, these are LBMA good bars and they're tungsten filled. Voila, all of a sudden everything comes into question, and it'll come down to we're going to have a global remelt and a way to classify and authenticate what real gold is and what fake gold is, what real silver is and what fake silver is. David Ryder, the head of the Mint, has a way to do that. His company was bought by Honeywell, and it scans the surface of the metal and it looks at the crystalline structure and it records it on the blockchain. Because every single piece of gold and silver is different at a microscopic level, if you've ever seen it. And the technology is so fast these days, a handheld gun can scan a Silver Eagle and tell you if it's in the... It hasn't happened yet. It's kind of happening in Canada. They have a program like this. But in the U.S., that's what the notch was for. That's why they changed the Silver Eagles. They were going to identify every single coin coming out of the U.S. Mint. And now they can. I mean, yeah, Silver Eagle is a great, depending on what kind of premium you pay, is a great coin to hold if you're in the United States. Number one, it is the money of the United States. It's illegal to counterfeit it. and it's harder to, more scrutiny will be used looking at eagles, and the U.S. Mint can say, hey, we've identified the last however many they've done. I don't know if all the ones that have the little notch are scanned, or they were just getting it ready, and then David Ryder was taken out of that position, and Ventris Gibson was put in, who stopped the Silver Eagle production. But we can do it. We'll just have to melt down everything that's out there and reclassify it and certify it. It would be really hard to fake one of those certifications if it's solidly on a blockchain that everybody trusts. Could be on the Bitcoin blockchain, could be on Theta blockchain. Sounds like a good subcoin for Theta, a subchain, if you ask me. Anyway, a really interesting article though talks about how big that market is. Counterfeiting market is $1 trillion market. Yeah, counterfeiting is now the world's most lucrative form of illicit trade, with estimates annual revenues nearing $1 trillion. Counterfeiting. Second is drug trafficking. Third is logging. Fourth is human trafficking. Logging? What the hell is logging? Human trafficking, mining, fishing, wildlife trade, crude oil. I don't even see cryptos up there, by the way. I know they like to say it. Estimated growth in counterfeit goods by 2030 is 5% growth. Recent trends. Global counterfeiting statistics are alarming. They don't fully reflect the specific risks facing the precious metals industry. In 2019, more than 1,000 counterfeit gold bars worth over $50 million were discovered in vaults around the world. Now, that's the amazing thing is they found $50 million worth of gold bars that were fake, but how many were really tested, and how did they get to the scratch and sniff test? Does not work if it's just coated with gold. That's the question, right? If they found 50 million, how many did they test? Did they test 100 million and found 50 million? Does that mean half of all gold bars, are fake? I don't know. Nobody does, and it's the questioning that comes into play, and the fact that the LBMA is saying this now tells me that something's coming. These bars were sophisticated fakes. They carried forged refinery stamps, matched expected assay and weight specifications, and some tested at 99.98% purity. Their high quality allowed them to move through the global supply chain undetected. Although that particular batch was eventually identified and removed, it likely represents only a small portion of what remains in circulation. While no single case has matched the magnitude since 2019, online activity has steadily increased, driven by economic uncertainty. Consumers are turning to tangible assets, leading to a surge in gold and silver coin sales at retailers such as Costco. This increased demand has also attracted a rise in scams. Counterfeiters operate across platforms such as eBay and Facebook, often claiming authenticity certificates through reputable counterparties. Some victims have lost tens of, even hundreds of thousands of dollars, often with limited options for recovery. The issue also extends beyond bullion, as any product with high value or strong demand is a potential target. Really interesting. Then there's it devalues the market. Yeah, if people don't feel like their 100-ounce silver bars or gold bars are going to be accepted, sight unseen type of thing, they might be selling those or swapping them for different forms of silver. You should do that before this all goes crazy. You'll have to pay some kind of fee to the broker, but you can negotiate since they're getting the buy and the sell. You can negotiate that. Andy will do it. Andy Scheckman, I think he only charges on one way the commission at milesfranklin.com. Send him an email, info@milesfranklin.com, if you want to swap your silver or swap your gold bars for silver. Obviously, that's what you really want to do. If you have a gold bar or any gold at 80-1, swap it for silver. Mechanics of counterfeit bars, and they look, as you can look at it, they look exactly like regular bars. And there's different ways. Like this one is alloy substitution. Metal plating, 3D printing. They can put the refiner on there, real easy. Stamping, surface treatment, reverse engineering, CNC machining, packaging. They put in a nice sealed package so you don't open it. And when you do, and you break that bar open, it's like, oh shit, what did I buy? And they forge documentation, certificates of authenticity. It's kind of like, how the hell are we going to move to a gold and silver standard if we can't determine the true fineness of the gold or silver, whether or not it's real or fake? It's going to be too many fakes. But then there's visual inspection. Now, these are the inspection methods. Subjective, error prone. If you just look at it, the ping test with silver, if you know what you're doing. Specific gravity tests, easily manipulate and struggle with complex shapes. Acid tests could damage items and results may vary on composition. Acid test, it doesn't dive deep into the metal. It's a surface scratch and sniff test. Magnetic testing only works on ferrous metals. X-ray, surface coating, skew results. If it's a thick coating of gold and then tungsten inside that, it probably wouldn't pick it up. Inductivity coupled plasma spectrometry. Expensive, time consuming, not ideal on site. And then they talk about security features. Now that's what the U.S. Mint was doing, setting up a security feature for all the U.S. Mint products. And that was the notch holds the coin in place, and it scans the metallic surface of the coin. And every single coin is different. And then they take that difference and they lock it into a blockchain. And then so that when you scan it, it automatically goes to the blockchain, makes sure it matches what is on the coin. Poof, you have instant authentication and you can use it. All right, LBMA bar integrity. Yeah, I don't trust LBMA. I don't even think it's there. So a lot of different companies are offering the technology. We'll see. We'll see how this all goes. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. We are currently giving away 50 T-Fuel tokens. This Theta is doing unbelievable things, and nobody knows about it, that's the kind of investment you want to get your hands on. Caleb & Brown, you can get Theta and T-Fuel. You can also go, if you're in the United States now, Crypto.com sells T-Fuel and Theta. I personally think T-Fuel is undervalued compared to Theta. It's at 4 or 5 to 1 right now. I think it's going to go to 1 to 1 or even better than 1 to 1. It's kind of like the gold silver story because of the burn rate. When AI really kicks in, starts burning a hell of a lot of, and this will happen fast, I believe, a hell of a lot of T-Fuel tokens on every operation, you're going to see that amount of T-Fuel start to go. At some point, it will go beneath the amount of Theta. And Theta doesn't work without T-Fuel. Remember that. So yeah, T-Fuel, I love Theta, don't get me wrong. It's a governance token. And at some point, the Theta validators and guardians will say, okay, T-Fuel is getting too expensive. We need to make more T-Fuel. And that'll happen. How it's distributed, they'll figure that out. But go check it out. Go to Road. We're giving away 500 T-Fuel with every private road subscription. Just click on subscribe today. More information there. I'll talk to you guys later.